A very good day to you. Thank you very much for joining us on NewsBlitz. I'm Samantha Rusare. Let's take a look at our headlines. Easter holiday accident fatalities triple, and we'll also tell you how a traffic jam delayed emergency services to one of the accidents. Zimbabwe population census starts. Man murders overspending wife. And in sport, our questions still remain on Warriors' AFCON participation. And now for the news in greater detail. The number of fatalities from road accidents during the Easter and Independence holidays tripled from figures recorded in 2021. Statistics released by police on Wednesday show that 73 people died in 2022 compared to 24 during the same period in 2021. However, the total number of accidents for 2022 fell to 264 compared to 401 in 2021. 202 people were injured this year, whereas 117 sustained injuries last year. The police attributed the accidents to human error, which includes speeding and failure to observe road rules by drivers. Police spokesperson, Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati, speaks.
The total number of 264 road traffic accidents were recorded compared to 401 in 2021. The number of people who died is 73 compared to 24 in 2021. The number injured is 202 compared to 117 in 2021. In analysis by the police, it revealed that most of the accidents are attributed to human error, which include speeding, inattention, misjudgment, overtaking error, and failure to observe road rules and regulations by drivers.
An emergency crew that was responding to an accident involving a Zimra bus had a torrid time finding its way through the Mbuzi traffic circle due to a traffic jam. The bus was ferrying staff members from Beitbridge to Harare along the Harare-Masvingo Highway, approximately 90 kilometers from the capital, Harare. It took the emergency crew about an hour to weave its way past the congestion as motorists did not heed the emergency sirens. The emergency crew included the Harare City Council Fire Brigade and private ambulances. Council spokesperson Michael Chideme speaks.
Last night, our fire brigade had challenges in passing through the Mbuzi traffic circle to attend to a road traffic accident along British Road at the 52 Wachikoka turn off because there was a congestion and motorists were not giving access to the vehicles that were sounding their sirens. We urge motorists and members of the public to always respect vehicles with sirens, because they will be attending to emergencies. The vehicles were only able to pass through the traffic circle after an hour and managed to go and assist the victims, most of whom were then ferried to different hospitals.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe Republic Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati confirmed that 4 people perished in the accident.
Yesterday, we had an accident where 4 Zimra staffers died when their bus, which had 32 occupants, had an accident at the 57 kilometer stage, the Harare Beitbridge Road, when they were on their way to Harare. So we implore motorists to be responsible on the road. They must lead by example when it comes to road safety.
Zimbabwe begins its 2022 population census on Thursday in earnest, with the National Statistics Agency ZimStat holding final awareness campaigns countrywide on Wednesday. The country held its last census in 2012, estimating the national population at about 14 million. Projections are that the country's population might have grown by about 3 million to 17 million in 2022. A physical population count will determine the country's exact population. Our correspondent Milton Sasa caught up with ZimStat spokesperson Messi Chidemo earlier on Wednesday.
Okay, this was a census night march awareness because we want to sensitize the people of Zimbabwe that today is our census night. So for the 2022 population and housing census, we'll be counting or enumerating all those individuals who would have spent the census night within the borders of Zimbabwe. We have a module in the questionnaire which will be looking at immigration. trying to estimate the population in the diaspora.
The count will also include special populations, amongst them the homeless, with street kids being a priority group. Simstat Director of Statistical Services, Fadzain Lovu, speaks.
Our enumeration will begin at midnight today, going into 21st of April, and we are going to enumerate special populations which include the homeless and transit population. We will also be looking at people who will spend their nights at hotels and lodges. All that enumeration will occur today after 12 midnight.
Moving on, beyond by a fruitful round of salary negotiations via the National Joint Negotiation Council earlier this year, which resulted in civil servants getting a hybrid salary, workers are getting ready to meet with their employer for the second quarter round of negotiations. Zimbabwe Confederation of Public Sector Trade Union spokesperson Gibson Mushangu speaks.
Our negotiations are quarterly based, and it is this month that we are expecting to commence our negotiations to address the weak economic conditions right now. When we last had an agreement with the government, which is so us taking what we took home and what we are currently earning, we had some issues that we left on the cards that we think as we are going to meet the government right now, it is about just picking a card and close the gap. Because the issue of non-monetary incentive that goes housing, there are some modalities, even the school fees for teachers. There are some modalities which were being put in place, and I think that the time we are going to meet the government, all the threads will be fulfilled and a third government will be made.
Speaking at the 42nd Independence celebrations on Monday, President Emerson Mnangagwa assured workers of conditions of service commensurate with their role.
Government stands committed to ensure that our public officers, including those in the health and education sectors, have conditions of service commensurate with their important role in driving the national development of our country. We also recognize the critical role played by organized workers, as well as employer organizations through the tripartite negotiating forum. Government is equally aware of the plight of workers who were affected by staff reductions and retrenchments as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. We are therefore scaling up and strengthening modalities and legislative instruments to protect all workers, including those engaged in domestic service.
A serious shortage of top-dressing fertilizer is likely to negatively affect Zimbabwe's 2022 agricultural yields. This year, crops did not consume much basal fertilizer as there was a dry spell, but top dressing was in huge demand as the country experienced heavy rains since the start of January 2022. Zimbabwe's first-round crop and livestock assessment report for the 2021 to 2022 season paints a gloomy picture. To make matters worse, crops that were planted early November and December were also affected by the dry spell which was experienced in late 2021. To this end, Zimbabwe Farmers Union Secretary General Paul Zakaria says irrigation should be made mandatory as a result of climate change.
Your irrigation is required, be it smallholder, large scale, your irrigation is required now. The signs have been very clear over the years. The writing is on the wall. and we need to respond. The government should provide that conducive legislation and policy environment that will help our farmers to then invest in what is required, and in this particular case, irrigation or moisture conserving methods.
Remember the Chinese national we featured on NewsBlitz on the 17th of February, known as Curtis Lee, the one who fell in love with Luveve suburb in Bulawayo? Well, the man also known as Li Shangfeng is in trouble with Zimbabwe's immigration department. Shangfeng, aged 21, appeared in court last Friday on charges of contravening Section 36 of the Immigration Act by remaining in the country, yet he had tendered his resignation to his employer. Shangfeng appeared before Bulawayo Magistrate Gamtirai Gore, charged with violating the terms of his employment permit as outlined in the Act. Prosecutors told the court that Shangfeng, who was employed by Dongshin Machinery Company, resigned on the 4th of October 2021 but did not notify the Chief Director of Immigration. The matter came to light after Shangfeng also appeared in the Chronicle newspaper published on the 22nd of February. Now, Shangfeng was fined 10,000 Zimbabwe dollars and ordered to leave the country. Chief Director of Immigration Respect Gono speaks.
Yes, I can confirm that the person you are referring to, Mr. Shangfeng Lee, was arrested on the 11th of April 2022 by immigration officers in Bulawayo for contravening the Immigration Act, Chapter 402, as read together with the Immigration Regulations of 1998. He appeared in court in Bulawayo and was convicted.
Still on our crime watch, a 36-year-old man from Rishavane, a town in Zimbabwe's Midlands province, has been arrested for allegedly killing his wife, whom he accused of misusing money that was meant for groceries. Norbert Mhlanga allegedly assaulted Mavis Wazongwa with a hoe and bricks after she bought a handbag with the money in question. Midlands Provincial Police spokesperson Inspector Emmanuel Mahoko told ZTN that Mhlanga's wife died on her way to the hospital.
The husband was accusing her of misusing funds after she bought a bag using money which was meant for groceries. It is alleged Mhlanga assaulted her using a hoe and bricks all over the body and left her lying unconscious. Villagers tried to rush Wadzongwa to hospital, but unfortunately she died on the way.
And still in the Midlands province, two men from Zombe, a district 80 kilometers north of Kwekwe, are nursing serious stab wounds after they were attacked for refusing to buy beer. Alec Mahembe and James Wengesai were attacked at Sidakeni Business Center by three unknown assailants. Mahembe and Wengesai had refused to give the three assailants $10 to buy beer, prompting the attack with Okapi knives. Police in the Midlands state the attackers are still at large.
Nursing injuries after they were stabbed by knives at Sidakeni Business Center in Zombe. The two, Alec Mahembe, aged 21, and James Wengesai, aged 23, both from Chief Samamba area, were passing at the Sidakeni Business Center riding an ox-drawn cart. They were stopped by three unknown men who demanded $10 to buy beer. The two refused. This angered the three and they produced knives and stabbed Mahembe and Wengesai several times all over their bodies.
The board, management and staff of the Zimbabwe National Family Planning Council, ZTN FPC, joins His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Edi Mnangagwa, and the entire nation in commemorating the independence of the country. We celebrate the Independence Day under the theme Zim at 42, leaving no one and no place behind. As we celebrate this revolutionary achievement in the history of Zimbabwe, ZTN FPC remains committed to offering quality, affordable, integrated family planning and related sexual reproductive health services. ZTN FPC operates strategic business units such as the audiovisual unit, catering and accommodation services, and the training services. Contact us for more information and assistance on www.znfpc.org.zw or pr@znfpc.org.zw. Our Facebook page, Zimbabwe National Family Planning Council, or call us on our toll-free numbers appearing on your screen. Family planning, it's your choice.
A Ugandan man, Mzim Mswesige, aged 83, became a father for the first time after his second wife gave birth on Tuesday. Mswesige had waited for 57 years in vain to have a child in his previous marriage. While society places a high value on childbearing, Mzim Mswesige had no regrets about his late wife's failure to bear him a child. A federal judge in Florida has struck down the Biden administration's mask mandate for airplanes and other forms of public transit, calling it unlawful. The U.S. District Judge said the National Public Health Agency had exceeded its legal powers in issuing the mandate. The U.S. Transit Authority said it will now no longer enforce mask wearing. Meanwhile, scientists have developed a smartphone app that can detect whether you have been infected with COVID-19. The app, called Reese app, uses machine learning to analyze the sounds of your cough. During testing, the app was found to correctly detect COVID-19 in 92% of people with the infection. And a man wrongly convicted of a murder who spent more than 3 decades behind bars has been exonerated after a witness admitted police had pressured him into falsely testifying. Joaquin Syria was arrested in 1990 for shooting and killing his friend Felix Bastarrica in San Francisco, United States. Up next is Sports News.
Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, Census yauya. Tichiverengana paukama, tichiverengana pakufara, yave nguva yekuverengana.
Zimbabwe will be holding a population and housing census from 21st to the 30th of April 2022. Census enumerators wearing Census 2022 regalia will be interviewing heads of households, be it female or male, landlords and tenants, the homeless, those in transit, hotels, hospitals, and those in prisons.
Zimbabwe, Census yauya. Inzaka Zimbabwe, Maya, yave nguva yekuverengana. Tichiverengana pakuvara, tichiverengana paukama, Census yauya.
All the information collected in the census will be treated as private and confidential and will be used for statistical purposes only. So we urge you to cooperate by giving true information. Avoid scams. Census enumerators will never ask for your ID numbers, your bank accounts, money or donations.
Tichiverengana paukama, tichiverengana pakuvara, yave nguva yekuverengana.
Census 2022, be sure to be counted.
On to our sports news. The outcome of yesterday's 2023 AFCON draw saw Zimbabwe being placed in Group K with South Africa, Liberia and Morocco. But the question still remains, will the Warriors be part of the qualifiers? We get more from our correspondent Thaddeus Manyepo. Good afternoon, Thaddeus. Now, we saw AFCON draw yesterday. What is the latest reaction from ZIFA or SRC on this draw?
I think it's quite a fair draw for the Warriors. Being drawn against South Africa, Liberia as well as Morocco, I think all those teams can be beaten. Looking at the players that we have, the likes of Jordan Zemora, Tino Kadewe, Knowledge Msona, you name them, we have quite a number of good players who can match the South Africans as well as Liberians and Morocco. But we should also know that our participation in these qualifiers solely depends on our capability of matching the conditions that were set by FIFA. Remember, we are banned as we speak. We are suspended from FIFA, but CAF gave us some lifeline on condition that would have done the correct things in as far as meeting the conditions set by FIFA is concerned. So it depends on the authorities what they are going to say, what they are going to do before we plunge into battle.
On to cricket, the Zimbabwe cricket women's team's fixture in the Capricorn Tri-Series in Namibia has been changed. The Lady Chevrons were initially scheduled to play Uganda in the series opening match this morning. However, they are now facing host Namibia this afternoon in Windhoek. Now, speaking to Zim Cricket Media upon arrival in Namibia yesterday, Zimbabwe captain Marian Musonda said this series is significant preparation for the T20 global qualifiers later this year.
The girls are really raring to play, and all this is in preparation for the T20 global qualifiers, which are going to be later this year. So this is the first step we are taking, and we just want to make sure that all the strategies we've been working on, we apply them in an environment that's not too that doesn't have a lot of pressure.
We have an update from this match. Currently, Zimbabwe women are on 111 4-2 after being electing to bait. That's all we have for you today on NewsBlitz. Thank you for watching. World of Life is coming up next.